Hi everyone, Eric the Ontarian. Just waiting for the kids to run to the corner store, so I thought I'd do a follow-up on what to do when you're involved in an accident in Ontario. There's something that I wanted to add, and I want to do a separate video on it, is what if you're in an accident and it's a sideswipe where somebody comes into your lane and hits your car? Well, like I said in the previous video, as long as you're driving in your lane going forward, then you're not at fault. Anybody that comes into that lane, turns in front of you, merges, anything, then there's an accident, they will be deemed at fault by the insurance company and the fault determination rules. Now, what if they get to the collision reporting center and after talking to a bunch of their friends decide to lie? And they say, nope, I was in my lane and the other driver came into my lane and hit my car. Well, now we have two different stories. That person said and that person said. How's the insurance company to know? Because remember, it's not the police that determine fault, it's the insurance companies. So they will, both insurance companies involved will hear both sides of the story. They'll get the police report when the insurance companies request it, and then they'll have to make a determination. But with conflicting stories, what do? Well, in the fault determination rules in Ontario, it specifically says that if there's conflicting stories and they're unable, as in the insurance company, is unable to determine someone at fault, then they will automatically deem it a 50-50 responsibility accident. So you may be driving in your own lane. You may be all of a sudden hit by another vehicle, not your fault at all, but because they are not telling the truth and they are lying, then the insurance company by law will go 50-50. So what can you do about this? Well, one is if you have an independent witness. Now, an independent witness is not somebody sitting in the car with you during the accident, because they will ultimately be seen as biased because they're with you. An independent witness is somebody that doesn't know you or doesn't know the other driver. Typically that good Samaritan who, after the accident, pulls over and says, I saw the whole thing, here's my name and number. And the insurance company will contact that person and get a statement from them. If not, the police will as well. The other thing that I'm going to suggest that I have, that my family has, is going to be a dash cam. In certain countries like Russia and Japan, it's law to have a dash cam. Here in Ontario, it is not law to have a dash cam, but I highly, highly recommend that you and everybody get a dash cam. This is how it works. It actually looks like the old school GPSs we used to have in our windshield about 10 years ago, those Garmin's. It's a suction cup, goes in the... I put it right behind the rearview mirror in the windshield, and then it just records as you drive. And some people will say, well, don't you need to have a camera capturing the actual impact itself? And the answer is no, because what do you need to prove in a car accident? Remember what I said about right of way in your own lane? As long as your camera shows that at the time of the impact, you were driving along in between the two lines of your lane, and that jarring happens at the time of the accident, and then it shows you pulling over, it shows you and the other driver milling about and looking at the cars, then we know as society and the insurance companies will know that you are not at fault because you have video proof. This one cost me on Amazon $40. You don't need to buy the $200 or $300 versions. You don't need to have one filming in the front and in the back. In the front, minimum. The only thing I'm going to say that it's not even splurging on is buy half decent quality micro SD card, the little memory cards that go in the side here. All right, they can corrupt easily if you have a cheap one, and typically if they're coming from China, let's face it, a lot of these no-name brand ones, they will come with, if it says in the marketing piece on the web page, it comes with a memory card, it will be a very cheap no-name brand micro SD card. And in Canada's hot summers in the cars and in the cold winters in the car, the data can corrupt. I'm going to strongly advise you that if you're going to invest and get a $40, $50, $100 dash cam, that you actually go to your local technology store, find a micro SD card or whatever memory card these things take, the one that you have that's compatible, and get yourself a name brand card. You don't have to spend a fortune on it. Try and find one that's on sale, and they're on sale everywhere. and ultimately it'll probably cost you $10, $15, or $20. You don't need massive like 64, 68 gigs worth of memory. You'll probably need somewhere along the lines of your 16 or 32 gigs of memory. Because like a typical security system, what this will do is this will record 5, 3, or 10-minute files, increments on the SD card, and once it's full, it goes back to the beginning and starts to rewrite over top of the old files. So, get a dash cam, cover yourself, CYA, and Eric the Ontarian will talk soon.